Yesterday's recovery was needed and it worked to say the least. Um, I feel much better. I got up and got some food yesterday and was able to um, start to deal with this migraine that I had. It was pretty tough. I was able to catch up on all my sleep from the previous days of sleeping in the truck and just not getting very great sleep. I mean, I'm old, I feel like sometimes. I'm not quite 40 yet, but I still feel it sleeping in the truck and on the front seat versus sleeping in a bed or even on a cot. So this morning I was able to get up and make some breakfast and some coffee. My bags and things were more or less packed and ready to go for today, which included my kill kit, food, some water, and some other smaller things that I thought maybe I would need. I'm in not exactly all my warmest clothes because I knew that I would get hot on the hike out, but I'm in a very warm snow bib and jacket and a musher's hat, which is very warm. I've got a balaclava on and some very thin gloves, which I'm kind of regretting. I was like, I'm not going to need them. It's not that cold. And every time the wind blows, I'm like, dang, I should have brought some warmer gloves. I have warmer gloves. They're just back in the truck. I think I have some even warmer gloves in the tent as well. So tomorrow I might grab some more. I have really consistently not wanted to make this hike continually. It's a lot to do every day to come out and hike and get away from the road and out of the corridor and come up here and then wait for a few hours without any of the gear that I haven't carried that moment, and then turn around and go back in the evening and do it all again the next day. So much so that the last couple of times that I've been out here, I have drug all of my supplies in even 2 trips sometimes to come all the way out and be able to stay basically outside of the corridor where I would be hunting with a rifle the whole time that I'm going to, have been here. So today, I came out and I was like, well, it's not actually that bad, especially if you kind of know what to look for and stay on the ridges and find little trails. And even a small game trail is better than just cutting your own trail through the tussocks. And there were a few places here and there that were kind of more of a slog trying to get over the tussocks and deal with the terrain. There's still those couple of fall summits that I've had to deal with in previous years, but they weren't that bad, I think, because I was expecting them. I was like, oh, I know this is not the end yet. And it wasn't that bad. It only took me, I really took my time and I stopped twice to kind of dissipate some heat, take off my jacket, dry off for a bit because I didn't want to get too wet, too sweaty for too long. And it wasn't bad. It took me less than 3 hours, and that's with stops and everything, to come out to this location. And I can see, I kind of came back up here because I was like, well, there's no point in sitting inside the corridor if I'm not, if I can't see anything. So I can actually see a little better coming out of the corridor just a little bit, or back into the corridor out of my hunting area. There we go. And this is working just fine. And the view is great up here. I'm doing this slow pan as best I can so everyone can get an idea of what it looks like. It's just, I don't even know if I'm capturing all this the way that it looks, because it's really spectacular. It's like being inside a very monochromatic Bob Ross painting at this point. But I'm pretty cool with that. I'm having a good time. So let's see. Now that I'm here, I can tell you a bit about what's going on and what I'm looking at, what my plan is. My plan is to spend the next 4 days, if I can, hunting around out here. I'll just hike out each morning and look for caribou until I need to hike back and get back to my tent and supplies. I've talked to a couple other hunters. There's 2 big groups and at least 1 smaller group that is out here. I think they're all bow hunting. I only talked to one of the guys from one of the groups because I wanted to give him a heads up about something that I saw last night, which I'll talk to you about just here in a minute. I will say that this has been the most activity that I've seen in this spot in the 5 years that I've been. It's been 5 years since my first trip, but I haven't come out here 5 times just yet. But yeah, in the last 5 years and the 4 trips that I've taken, 3-4 trips that I've taken, I've never seen this many tracks all over the place. And just to kind of break it down real quickly, I've seen mice, fox, rabbits, probably snowshoe hare. I can't really tell the difference between hare and rabbit tracks a lot of times, especially if they're older. I've seen caribou, I've seen wolf, and I've seen people. I've seen people tracks. I've seen all kinds of tracks out here all around. And I don't know if this is coming clear in the video here, but there are tracks everywhere. All sorts of tracks, just tons of them. So this is the most activity I've ever seen out here. And this snow is not particularly old. This has all been in the last 2 weeks or so that there's been this much activity. Now, it has snowed a little bit in the last 2 days, just barely, kind of like, oh, there's a flake, oh, there's a flake. And I'll wake up after a night of sleeping and I don't have to brush the snow off, but there's some snow here and there in the seams and the cracks of the tent, that sort of thing. But I haven't seen anything that I would be like, okay, yeah, this is a new track from the last 24 hours, or this is less than 24 hours old type track. So in the last couple weeks, it's definitely been a very busy place, very busy. But I don't know if it's going to be busy in the next couple of days. Obviously, there's still people out here hunting. I think they're bow hunting, so I don't expect to see them up here on the hill. So that reminds me. Last night, I was in the truck trying to keep warm. I was running the heat for just a few minutes and drying out some boots and things like that. Making use of the airflow as well as heat that a vehicle can provide that just a stove might not provide as well. At least that was the excuse I was telling myself. Maybe it was because I wanted to sit in a nice, comfortable leather seat. But anyway, I saw some movement and I was like, well, that's odd. I thought that was a bear, but it was a ways away. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll look for it. Maybe I'll take a look and with the binoculars, and I didn't see anything. And then sure enough, it came right back and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. That's definitely, there we go. That's definitely a bear. And I watched this bear for about half an hour, walk around this ridge, come up over this ridge and back down, and then finally come into a few bushes before I kind of lost track of him, her. I'm not sure. We didn't get close enough to get to know each other that well. She or he. I want to say that it was a female bear, that it was a sow. So I'm just going to say her just to make it easier. But I watched her kind of disappear into some bushes, and I was like, oh man, if she gets up and she heads in the same direction that she was heading in right now, then she's going to go out towards where I'm going to go tomorrow, and maybe we will meet ourselves outside of the corridor. But when I got up this morning, I looked I looked around and I didn't see her, and I was like, okay, maybe she's already gone, maybe she's already taken off. And I was going to drive over to where I was going to start hiking out, and I saw one of the other hunters, and so I was like, hey, I'm Adam, and I just wanted to give you a heads up that I saw a bear, and they're probably less than a mile from your camp, like a pretty big brown bear. And he was like, oh yeah, we know. She's been going back and forth for the last couple days, this, that, and the other. And, she's been going from what we think is like gut pile to gut pile, just going through and eating whatever's left over from other people having hunted out here in the last couple of weeks and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, oh, okay, well, if that's the case, then she's probably not going to go up to where I was. And I was like, well, dang, I was hoping that I could maybe, find her out there outside the corridor because I'm going to hunt with the rifle. And he's like, she's keeping her distance from people because there's been some other hunters that have been trying to get her with the bow, and she always took off away from them. So I was like, well, then I really do not have to worry about her. If she's got a healthy respect of keeping her distance from people, I really don't have to worry about her coming into camp and causing some kind of problem. So there we go. When I talked to him, he said that he'd been here for 10 days and hadn't got anything, but that he knew that he'd seen some caribou and knew where, or thought he knew where some were. We kind of exchanged information about when we saw caribou going through Adigan Pass, which I've got a short little bonus video if it hasn't already posted yet. Just a couple of those that are running through real quick. And I kind of explain on that video why it's so short. But this is where I'm at. I'm posted up here. I've been here for a couple of hours. I feel warm. I feel dry. I've had to rotate my hands in and out of my jacket pockets so that they can stay nice and warm because I brought thinner gloves instead of thicker gloves. I have food. I have water. And I even found a stream that is fairly close to the truck from where I parked. So I might just slip out and get some water because I'm down to basically drinking water for today and maybe dinner. So I don't have enough for breakfast. So I'm going to try and harvest up about 2 gallons of water on my way home tonight. That way I have water for maybe the rest of the trip, depending on how thirsty I am and what my food intake has looked like. I'll generally go between a half gallon and 3/4 of a gallon a day that I'll have rationed out and drank. Okay, so far, there's been a huge pivot to get to this point, to hike out here, to take this leap, to recover from the many days of of everything from failed boating trips to migraines. And I'm here. I'm ready to get after it. I'm ready to hang out all day looking for caribou and maybe hike around here and there. My gear so far is testing true, and I've kept a pretty light pack today. So, and I feel like it's just enough snow out here that if I got a caribou, I could harvest it up, bag it up, carry it away from the kill site, and then come back either that same day or the next morning with the sled and drag them out in the sled, because then I could just kind of one trip that guy. So here we go, and we're gonna give it our best shot. If you have followed along with this and hopefully not gotten too motion sick with my multiple 360 views, this is kind of what my hunting experience is right now, where I'm just scanning, stare. What is that? Oh, it's the same rock I saw before. Scanning, stare again. So wish me luck that this doesn't drive me crazy, and that I'm able to stay patient enough to keep doing this until I find a caribou and maybe some other meat to be able to take home. And in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy that view. I think this is probably my favorite view Right now, it's absolutely gorgeous. I love the way that the clouds are hanging over the mountains and hugging them ever so slightly. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, wish me luck.